Hey everyone, welcome back. So today what we're going to be looking at is LFOs, specifically on the Digitakt II, but this can be done on the Optitrack and the Syntact and the Digitone and most of the other Elektron boxes. So I've done LFO videos before. I've done a lot of LFO content in the courses that I've got available for the Syntact and Digitakt. But one thing I've often overlooked is sequencing LFOs. And I know it's such an obvious idea, and I know that there's users out there that are doing this a lot, but I tend to kind of step lock a lot of stuff, the parameters to the trigs, and I've just always done that. I've been using Elektron devices since around 2010 or 2011 when I got the Analog 4 Mac 1, the desktop version, and I've always just kind of fallen towards just trig locking parameters, and I've been doing that for so long. And then just recently, before Christmas, you can't see it on the camera right now, but to the left, you can see like the alpha base and you can see the start of a modular rig there. And I'll do some more videos on this stuff later. But I started to acquire some analog stuff. So a couple of Behringer units and then some really cool modules like tube filters and distortion and things like Shackmat battering ram and Archer's rig. To go alongside with the alpha base, like sending stuff into the modular. And one thing I noticed straight away was that I really got into the idea of sequencing LFOs. So having a sequence of LFO shapes, LFO times, time signatures and stuff like that to create really interesting rhythms. And I made a few tracks doing this kind of stuff with the Behringer K2 and also the Behringer Pro 1 and getting the filter to kind of create these really cool rhythmic patterns. So what I'm trying to say is just by moving on to some different equipment and coming away a little bit from the Elektron stuff, I discovered that there's other things that I like to do that I'm not currently doing on the Elektron boxes. But then obviously, come full circle, it got me thinking, can I do that stuff on the Elektron boxes? Of course you can. It's actually super easy and very intuitive and probably something that I should have been doing this whole time. So what we're going to do in this session is we're just going to explore that. No genre preference. I'm just going to keep the BPM at 125. And what we're going to do is just use the factory single cycle waveform as probably just the sawtooth to give us an open oscillator sound that's not filtered. And then just to start exploring this, we're just going to use the filter, bring that down and start to create an interesting filter pattern. Maybe, if we've got time, I'll start to use other LFOs. So obviously I chose the Digitakt because we've got 3 LFOs per track. We could use another LFO to kind of do some interesting LFO rhythms on other parameters. Now, just to start, why is this different to just putting in a trig lock like this and step locking everything? Well, the difference is these are step locked, so they're not actually gliding. And what I mean by that is if you think of a note glide, you can glide the note differences. So you can go from a C to a D sharp and glide in between using note glide. With an LFO, you can kind of get some similar things by using different shapes, such as a try, a sine, and then we've got the saws, obviously, as well in exponential to get different kind of curves and movements. If you think about this is kind of what step locking looks like. So when we're holding this down and moving a parameter, we're step locking each of the notes in that fashion. So we're missing out on some cool stuff, basically. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go into the source page and I'm going to go down to, I think I've already got a saw in here, but just so you know what I'm working with, if you go into the factory folder, you'll notice that we've got oscillators and stuff like that. If we go to oscillators, we've got single cycle. These are just very short one cycle waveforms. But when you kind of like hold the note down, you can basically turn the Digitakt into a synthesizer. So I'll show you what that looks like. I chose the sawtooth and it just looks like that. So that's the saw down, but it's looping. So what you want to do is you want to go to this knob here and turn that arrow into a loop. So you can do a forward loop or you can do a reverse loop. We're going to do a forward loop. And let's just actually, I need to do it like this. So we're not getting anything at the moment, but what I need to do is change it again because I haven't done it. I think I was on the wrong track there. Let's go back. Yep. So you can hear it now, but you can hear it tailing off. So what I want to do is I want to go into the amp settings and we're actually going to go the other way and just bring the release down. So you can hear it there. It's cutting off, but then what we want to do is bring the length up, and we'll just go to 16 trigs. So we're just going to work on one bar, and I've got 16 trigs, and that means this is just going to play out for this whole bar. So let's have a listen to that. So we've just got this single cycle waveform, which is just going round and round and round like that. And obviously, we can pitch it. We can turn it into a bass. I'm going to kind of leave it at this for now. And then what I'm going to do is go to the filter page, bring this down, and add a bit of resonance. So we can even add amp envelope as well, and just treat it as a synthesizer. It's really cool. You could turn a Digitakt track into a synthesizer like this. So let's just put that about halfway like so. And then let's go to the LFO page now and just work with one LFO to start with. So I'm going to bring this all the way down to frequency. Let's just see if that's working. That's working, yes. What I'm going to do to start with is keep it quite simple. So we'll just go and put the speed to 32 so we can get 16ths. And then if we come back out of this, I'm going to put this mode onto trig mode. So it means it's going to re-trigger when you put a trig down. And then I'm going to adjust the BPM. So you can hear that now. We've got these stabs now, which are 8ths. If we go up again, we've got 16ths. So the idea is what you could do essentially is you could say, I want this bit to be 16ths. Then when it reaches there, I want to trig lock that and slow it down a bit. And then maybe this one, I'll put it back to where it was. This one, I want to speed it up. And then we're going to bring it back down to normal. And then at the very end, I'm going to slow it down again. Let's have a listen to that. Already, that's pretty cool, right? And what we could also do is we could change the shape. Exponential. We can also reverse this as well. And we can also do a little bit of in between. So we could say, I want this one to be reverse. And I want these ones, whoops, to all be forwards. Maybe that one backwards as well. And then I can change the shape if I want. And the other cool thing is that you can actually trig lock any of these parameters. So even like the depth amount as well. Maybe you want this one to be quite low. When it gets there, you want it to go a bit higher. Bring it down a bit. Bring that one up. So you get these really dynamic movements going on. Let's just mess around a bit more now. So obviously everything at the moment is speed 32. So if we go to 48, then we can start getting dotted. So let's just go to 48 now and see what that sounds like. That's pretty cool. I like this bit. That's pretty cool. So what we could do is we could lock them on 48 and then just bring it back down to 32 again. And what does it sound like if you just mess this one up as well? Speed it up a bit. Don't forget we can change the shape as well. That's cool. And we're getting into that kind of like Mr. Wazzo territory now. And this is why I bought the Behringer K2 Mark II, because I was messing around with a kick drum from the John Mux Alpha bass. Then I sent it into Modular and distorted it. And then in Ableton, I was using the Arturia VST remake of the MS-20 filter. And I was doing stuff like this in that, and that's what kind of sparked it as well. I was like, oh, I could do this in Modular, I could do this in the VSTs. And I was getting some like proper Mr. Wazzo stuff, and it sounded so fucking cool on an electro track. And then I was like, right, I'm buying a K2 now. I've been wanting an MS-20 for a long time. I didn't know why I wanted one, just because a lot of bands used it that I really liked. And also I did like the sound of the squelchy filter, but then I was like, it's just a filter, isn't it? I got one, I was like, no, it's got such a cool character to it. Like when you bring the resonance right up. We can't mimic that fully on the Digitakt, but we can get close with by bringing up the resonance a bit more. Maybe we could also add a bit of can add a bit of envelope amount as well every time the note hits. I'll tell you what we'll do now. Actually, we'll just add a kick in. Maybe I'll add an electro kick, or we'll just go 4/4. But let's just put a kick in so we've got something to kind of work with. Let's just go for this one. Right, I don't know what's going on there. Let me just double check this. So I think I might be on a kick loop. So let me just go down. Oh, I know what I've done. It's from earlier when I messed up that. This I thought was on the wrong track. So let's just... Probably I need to turn this track down a bit. Let's just go back to the kick. And... see what other kicks we've got already just in here. Let's just go for that. Let's just bring a snare in and some hats as well. Just so we've got like a rhythmical foundation. So something to listen to so we know where we are with everything, and then we can kind of start messing around with this a bit more. So yeah, let's just put some snares in. Again, I'm just going to see what I've already got loaded in here, so let's go digging through folders. Let's just put any old clapping. Quite a old school electro house sounding already. And that Mr. Wazzo vibe. Let's just bang a hat in. Classic. We'll go with that. So those little samples I'm using are from the Techno pack. I'll put a link into that into the description below. I've already done a couple of videos with that, and they're just great like stock samples to use. Right, let's just spice this up a little bit. So there we go. And if you wanted to, you know, we could... I was going to do a little bit more work with the filter, but for now, maybe what I'll do is I'll set up another one for the bit reduction. So if we go into that now and set it up as LFO 2, and then I'll come back to this again and we can come up with some different LFO patterns for the filter as well. Let's go down to... where is it? So go to amp, bit reduction. Let's just bring that up, see if it works. So what I'm going to do again, put it on 32 for now, speed it up a bit. And then what we could do is just start to... is that actually working? Let me just have a look. So if we go to amp... I suppose it's not adding, it's not doing too much, so we can't really pick it up anyway. But let me just go back to this. Let's try sample rate reduction. Yeah, you can kind of hear it. I'll tell you what, we'll leave that for now. I kind of liked it, but it was too subtle to really dive into it deeply enough with you. So we'll just stick to the filter for now, and then we'll come up with some different patterns, or just explore this a bit further. So let's just change these now. So the ones that are not locked to a shape, so like this one is locked to a sine wave, but the ones that are not locked, I can just change them quickly by doing it like this. So that sounds nice as... Actually, we've already got that as a sine anyway. That's cool. So the first one, change it to a square. Pretty cool. And then what we could do now is maybe let's just duplicate this length, and then on the second page we'll do something different, maybe add some like kind of extra movement in there that just kind of switches it up a little bit on the second time round. So let's just put this to 64 and this also to 64. I'm just gonna duplicate that. So what I want to also show you as well is it's pretty cool to also add a little bit of kind of like step locking style stuff. So you could use the random and you could, let's try that, see if that works. A bit too fast. That sounds cool in this one. This really reminds me of like DJ House. So like all that kind of stuff, like Rex the Dog as well. Like it's all that kind of like movement of a high res filter. So we've got this space here. So these 8 here. I like this at the end, and then these 8 here. Let's do something a bit more different. So maybe we'll use like some different shapes. Why don't we just do it randomly, right? So maybe if we just kind of like go in there and just lock stuff in like this, and then I'm just gonna kind of do it randomly. So we'll do that one as a 48, this one as a 32, that one as a 48. We'll do that one as a 32, but we'll speed it up, change it to a, this might sound awful, but we'll see. Bring that up a little bit more. This one, let's just have a listen. That's pretty cool. That's cool, man. Let's see if we can refine it a bit. I think this one needs to be a 32. Yeah, it does. Let's see if we can. Bring that depth mount up a bit or down a bit. So we can mess with the depth amount as well. It's pretty cool. I like that. We could even go into like the source now and go back into these, and we could mess around with changing the oscillator. So kind of likes the saw though. Let's go back to saw. Let's try bring it down an octave. That's cool. Now we're in. Proper bubbly and like, I don't know, just like kind of like spacey side, I wouldn't say psytrance, but it's got that sci vibe to it. We could even, I know we're getting a little bit away from the LFO stuff now, but it's kind of sparked a lot of excitement in me, and it's obviously like not inspiring, what's the word? It's give me a seed to kind of go off now and start creating something with it. Yeah, you could change them to the octave higher as well. Or maybe that one high. Yes, that's it. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, let's do that. Not really keen on that. You could even move the filter. You can even move the filter position as well. There's just so much room to kind of adjust this, like once you get going. Oh no, you can also hold it and press yes. Try and find a sweet spot. Maybe it needs a bit more envelope amount. Maybe you can go the opposite way. That's cool. Let's go in now. And we can even like trig lock some stuff in as well. Like this. Just doing it randomly there, didn't really like that. So this last bit here, let's just turn that chorus up. Let's save this as well. I want to save it because now what I'm going to do is just kind of like mess around a little bit. We could, so now we've done that, maybe we can just like piss around and see what happens. My phone keeps going off, sorry about this. Let me just put that on silent. Right, so the other thing that we could do obviously is now we've kind of got that together, we could obviously copy that pattern if we wanted or just save it, do a temporary save. And then I want to just try and use some of my old ways of working, which would be to use live record quantized. And I could just go a bit crazy now, like maybe mess around with the shapes like this. So these are all getting trig locked on the 16th, which will kind of mess it up, but it might sound quite cool. And then if we want, we could mess with these. Sounds quite cool though still. That's pretty cool. And then you've also got the fade in, fade out as well. So with this, I haven't really used this on this, but you could like have it so you just get a little touch of LFO. Don't know if that's going to work now, actually. I might have to, maybe we'll come on to that in a second, but I'll reset it. Oh no, wait there, am I, oh god damn it, I'm on the wrong LFO. I thought it wasn't like doing much, but let's go back to LFO 1 again. So yeah, LFO 2, I was just doing absolutely nothing there, apologies. So LFO 1, let's just do the fade fin, and then what I'll do is I'll put it into record mode and we can do what I was just doing there. So you could bring the fade out. That's pretty cool. Like, I've never done this before. Like, I'm exploring all this with you as we're filming, because I thought it'd be more interesting and exciting to do it that way rather than planning it. And that is cool. You could use that as a performance tool. So I know we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves here and going into different territories, but this is all good stuff, right? So if we go to, what am I doing? I'm on the wrong thing here, sorry. I'll tell you what, this is, so another gripe, not a gripe, but something to consider when it comes to Elektron boxes, because we keep getting all these like version 2s, these updates on different machines, things are in different places. So it's like when I'm working on, like, say, the syntax and I come to this, then I have to go into a different menu to get to the mod wheel. Just little things like that kind of bugging me at this point in time. Hopefully with some more updates and stuff, they'll start to roll out updates that unify the boxes and make them have similar menus and stuff, so everything will be in a similar place. I'm hoping that will become the case. So if we go down now, fade in, fade out, I'll just do this just to this. I need to go the other way maybe. I'm on LFO 2 again, apologies. Right, let's go back up. There we go. There we go. So that could be on a MIDI controller, that, and you're performing live. And if you wanted to, you could also add something in like LFO 1 depth. Let's press yes, not that. And then let's see if this works. Or you could add it to something like filter cut off. Let's just go up. And maybe filter resonance. Pretty fun. Yeah, so I know we went off a little bit off piece there, but that was pretty cool. And then let's go into this again now. So I'm just looking at my camera because I can only record for 30 minutes and I want to keep this actual lesson under 30 minutes, right? So, or lesson session, whatever you want to call it. So let's just quickly try this live recording quantized thing out. So, am I on the right track? Yes. Oh yeah. Okay, right, okay. So what we need to do is just get rid of this fade. It's a bit crazy. And then we're messing with the other bits there as well. So what I'm also going to do is I am going to copy this LFO page, paste it on the second one. And then what we could do on the second one is record again. But I'm just going to go crazy with this. Who knows what's going to happen? Oh, I shouldn't have done that one. Let me just come out with that. Erase locks. So it sounds like a mess, but let's just yeah, that's erase that. Back to 32. Let's do it on this. We've broken it. It doesn't sound as cool anymore, so let's come out of that. There we go, back to normal. Right, so there's loads more that we can do with this, and I want to just keep this lesson short, but if you want me to talk about this in more or explore it in more detail, I could do another video in a few days or next week. So just let me know in the comments if you want me to do that. There is other things that we can explore. So we've done it with just the filter and a single cycle waveform, but we can obviously start to create rhythmical patterns for any of these different destinations here. And there's just different ways of doing this. We can explore like triplets as well. And we could just get a bit more granular with it and try and come up with something even more intricate. And then we can modulate other stuff like effects and that as well. And maybe even like pitch. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you want me to explore this more. I think it's really cool and it's something I'm going to be doing a lot more in my productions. One thing I will say is, if you're sending, so on a MIDI track, I tried this using a MIDI track and sending it to the Behringers and it didn't work. So I had to use the Expert Sleepers FH2 to convert the MIDI into CV, and then that smoothed it out. That also didn't really work as well. So then what I did was with the Expert Sleepers FH2 in Eurorack, I then basically sequenced LFO shapes on the FH2, and I might do a video on this soon. Let me know if you want me to cover that as well. And then that enabled me to get these like really smooth analog CVs, so that I was able to do this stuff using external analog gear. Let me know if you want me to cover that. Sorry, I'm just trying to rush because I've got like a minute left of recording time. The other thing I wanted to say as well is I always talk about this in all the videos, but I need to do this to keep this channel running. I've got paid courses that you can enroll on. I've got one for the Digitakt II, one for the Syntakt, one for the Typhon. I will be doing some more soon. I've also got like a flagship mixing course coming out as well. And then there's loads of presets and sample packs and stuff you can explore. All the links will be in the video description below. And if you sign up to my mailing list, then you can also receive occasional discounts on products as well. So my name's James Orvis, and I will see you in the next video.